Hello friends, I'm George, the nice medic gentleman. In this video, I'm going to talk about beast mode performing fragrances, and I'm going to show you 10 such fragrances that are going to cover pretty much every budget. I'm going to start this list off with a few very affordable options, and then I'll work my way up through the pricing ladder. There will be some more expensive Middle Eastern fragrances, there will be some designer fragrances, some of them quite expensive, and then I'll finish off this list with two niche offerings. The cheapest fragrance in today's video is going to be from the house of Lattafa, and it's called the Lattafa Opulent Oud. Now, in order to like this one, you need to like agar oud and you need to like rose. If you do, then you definitely need to check this fragrance out. It opens up with a quite a strong and spicy saffron note. You also get a bit of citruses in the opening of this one, and then after a few minutes pass, the agar oud and the rose take over the show pretty much. On the dry down, this gets a bit of an added sweetness from an amber note. Some people are saying that they pick up a vanilla note in here. I personally don't. There's a bit of a musky note in here, but all in all, it's all about the combination of agar oud and rose. If you like those two fragrances, and if you like a strong performing fragrance, then the Lattafa Opulent Oud is definitely going to be a like for you. Performance here is beastly. I get about 12 hours at least of performance on my skin from this fragrance with pretty strong projection in the first 2 to 3 hours. Also, the price tag of this fragrance is super low. This usually goes for somewhere around $20-25. The first fragrance in today's video, the Lattafa Opulent Oud. The second fragrance is a one that's pretty well known in the fragrance community. It comes from the house of Rasasi, and it's called the Rasasi Shuhrah. Very interesting and unique scent profile in here. It has a super interesting tomato leaf note that I really like. There's some rose in here as well, some leather, some musk, some oak moss, a slight touch of sweetness from an amber note as well, and also sort of an ashy tobacco note in here as well. It's very hard to explain how this one smells. I've never smelled anything like it, and the best way that I can explain this is if you imagine how a bar of super luxurious Arabic soap should smell. This how in my mind this smells. Performance is beastly, easily 12 over 12 hours on skin with very strong projection in the first 3 hours or so. Price tag super cheap as well. It usually goes for something like $30-35. The second fragrance for today, the Rasasi Shuhrah. And now it's time for a few more expensive Middle Eastern options. At number 3 in this video is going to be from the house of Afnan, the Supremacy Not Only Intense. This is the love child of Creed Aventus and Nishane Hashivat. The easiest way that I can explain this one. It has a very sweet, very strong, and very dense opening with very prominent blackcurrant note in here. In fact, it's a bit too sweet even for my liking, and I like sweet fragrances, a bit too dense to be more exact. On the dry down, it's all about the oak moss, the musk, which is still mixed with that sweet blackcurrant note from the opening. Probably this is closer to Nishane Hashivat, but it can easily be an alternative to Creed Aventus as well. Super versatile, price tag around about $50 to $60, which puts it in a little bit of a designer pricing territory, but the quality here is very high and the performance is beastly. Easily 12 hours on skin with very strong projection in the first 3 hours. At number 3 for today, the Afnan Supremacy Not Only Intense. And at number 4, the last Middle Eastern fragrance in this video. I just cannot do a video about beast mode performing fragrances and not mention this one from the house of Armani, the Club de Nuit Intense Men EDP. Of course, the most famous clone of Creed Aventus. You get a slightly different opening that's in here compared to Creed Aventus. That's here the opening is heavy on the lemon note, but on the dry down it's super close to Creed Aventus. Performance here fantastic. I always get at least 13 to 14 hours of performance on my skin without any problem pretty much every time I'm wearing the Club de Nuit Intense Man EDP. Projection quite strong for the first 2 to 3 hours. A compliment monster getting fragrance. Super versatile. Price tag, if you go for the bigger bottles like I have here, the 200 milliliter bottle size, you probably pay about $60 to $70, which I think is a fantastic price considering the amount of fragrance that you get and the amount of performance that you get with this fragrance. At number 4, the Club de Nuit Intense Man EDP. Okay, now time to move on to the designer part of this video. I'm going to show you a total of 4 designer fragrances. Now, some of them may surprise you a little bit, but I'm only sharing my personal experience with these fragrances, and all 4 that I'm going to show you have been beast performance, at least on my skin. At number 5 for today, the Givenchy Gentlemen EDP. A very interesting fragrance that has sort of a spicy opening, some black pepper, some lavender, a bit of a freshness from a bergamot note, and then on the dry down it's all about the combination of iris, cinnamon, and vanilla. There are some more notes that play sort of a supporting role, but that's pretty much it. On the dry down, iris and vanilla combo with a very nice cinnamon note in here. This thing has been a crazy good performer for me since the first day I got it. I easily get 11 to 12 hours of performance on my skin. The projection is not super loud, but it's still quite good for the first about 2 hours. The only problem with this fragrance is that it's sort of a little bit of a dressed up type of a scent. You need to be at least a little bit dressed up in order to wear this one like it should be worn. But other than that, it's a fantastic fragrance, especially for people who love iris in their fragrances. At number 5, the Givenchy Gentlemen EDP. At number 6, from Armani, Stronger With You, absolutely. This is probably the most interesting scent that's member of the Stronger With You line, and probably the sweetest member of the Stronger With You line in here as well. Carries that sweet DNA, that sweet scent profile of all the other members of the Stronger With You line. But in here, it's even sweeter, it's even denser, and Armani have added a very interesting boozy touch to this fragrance. There's a nice rum note in here, and also a chestnut note in here that adds a bit of warmth to the whole scent profile. It's a fantastic fragrance for cold weather usage, late fall, winter time, especially for nighttime. Can easily work as a great date night fragrance as well. Will get you a lot of compliments, and performance for me has always been very, very strong. Easily 10 hours, at least 10 hours plus, but let's say closer to 11 to 12 hours of performance on skin with a quite good projection in the first about 2 hours. At number 6 in this video, the Stronger With You, absolutely. At number 7, from the house of Jean Paul Gaultier, the Le Mot Le Parfum. You get here the original Le Mot DNA with an added note of iris that makes a huge difference. Now, with the original Le Mot, especially nowadays, and Ultra Mot, those two fragrances, they feel a lot more youthful, a lot more playful. The added note of iris in the Le Parfum version makes the whole scent profile a little bit darker, a little bit sweeter, a little bit more mature, a little bit more dressed up, if you like. Fantastic fragrance for cold weather usage, fantastic fragrance for date night usage. Will get you a lot of compliments for sure. Um, all in all, it's a fantastic fragrance, and I absolutely love this one. And performance has always been great for me from Le Mot Le Parfum. 11 to 12 hours of performance on my skin pretty much every time I wear this one, no problem. The only downside is the slightly softer projection. It's not a loud fragrance. It projects nicely for about 2 hours, but it's more a sort of an intimate type of projection. At number 7, the Le Mot Le Parfum. And at number 8, the last designer fragrance in this video, it's going to be from the house of Dior, and I just cannot talk about beast mode performing designer fragrances without mentioning this one, the Sauvage Elixir, of course. We all know what this is all about. You get that original Sauvage DNA, but made more modern. It's a lot sweeter compared to the original Sauvage EDT, less spicier, feels slightly more fresher like compared to the original one. Performance here is off the charts, easily 12 hours of performance on skin with very loud projection in the first about 3 hours. If you like compliments, if you like to grab people's attention, then Sauvage Elixir is for you. Now, the only problem with Elixir, of course, is the price tag. Dior went a bit overboard with the pricing of Elixir, and it's pretty much now the price tag of Sauvage Elixir. It's straight up in niche category of pricing. But if you like compliments and if you like to pick up attention from people around you, then Sauvage Elixir is for you. And to end the video, I'm moving on to some niche offerings, some niche choices. The first one from the house of Montale, the Arabians Tonka. Now this fragrance, it's all about the saffron in the opening, and then on the dry down about the agar oud, the rose, the amber, and the tonka bean. Super sweet, super dense fragrance, very loud, very strong projecting like almost any other Montale fragrance. The House of Montale are known for their great performing fragrances, and Arabian Tonka makes no difference at that. Perfectly unisex, can be found for a reasonable price, especially if you look at discounters. Going to get a sort of an interesting and unique scent profile in an interesting and unique bottle as well, aluminium bottle or aluminum bottle, unlike most other fragrances that come in glass bottles. At number 9, from the House of Montale, the Arabians Tonka. And I'm going to finish off this video with one of the most famous fragrances in the world and one of my personal all-time favorites from Xerjoff Naxos. It's an absolutely fantastic blend of lavender, bergamot, honey, tobacco, some vanilla, and some amber as well. But it's all about that combination, at least to my nose, of lavender, honey, and tobacco. Super fantastic blend. Absolutely fantastic quality of this fragrance. The bottle, the presentation, the scent, everything is 10 out of 10. It's very famous. It's an unisex fragrance that I think leans a bit to the male side, at least in my mind. Performance here is absolutely fantastic. I easily get at least 12 hours, sometimes up to 13 to 14 hours of performance on my skin with pretty strong projection in the first 2 to 3 hours. As I said, in my opinion, one of the best fragrances ever created. And so, in today's video, I showed you 10 beast mode performing fragrances for every kind of budget. I hope that you found this video interesting. If you did, give it a like. I would also greatly appreciate if you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my future content. I hope that everybody stays safe, and I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye bye.